All right, welcome everybody to the live stream. I'm Alan from Benchrest Marksman, and joining me today is Joe, Cyclops Joe. Ooh, whoop. Other had the stream on on loud, but anyway, we'll get there. So I just thought we just maybe wait a few minutes, see if anybody joins, and other than that, we'll I've got some questions that we can talk about. It's just around about Benchrest shooting and scopes and YouTube community and encouraging everybody. And Elijah, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for coming. um, so yeah, Joe, how are you today, mate?
Huh? Do what, Alan?
How are you today, mate?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I didn't know if we were on or not, man. I was sitting there like a dumbass. I didn't know. Josh from Pursuit of Accuracy just texted me and wanted a link to your channel, so I just sent it to him. And
yeah. Josh, g'day, Josh. How are you? apparently there's a bum on the stream, but
yeah. Oh, Josh, he's a shit, man. Him and Elijah both, man. They're some of the. Hold up, dude. I was sitting there bragging. You know what? Screw Josh. You little red-headed dwarf. Yeah, Josh and Elijah, man. They're a couple of the YouTubers, man. I've actually been lucky enough to get to meet in person. So many of the guys, man, like you and I, talk on the phone or FaceTime or something, man. Those are two of the guys I've actually got to meet in person, man. So that's a lot of fun.
I'm sure you got lots of secret stories about those guys.
Well, I don't know. Last time Josh and I got together, somebody brought COVID to the range and everybody got sick. And so we didn't really get to hang out, man. Josh thought he had it. I don't remember if he did or not, but I remember he thought he did. And he was keeping distance from everybody, because he didn't want to get everybody sick.
Yeah.
So we're kind of talking, but social distancing at the same time, And then Elijah, I ran into him at the NRA show with his son-in-law. They're both really cool people, man. And we got to hang out a little bit, but yeah, they're, like I say, thanks guys for jumping on, man. I appreciate it. I can't see anything except for like how many people or anything. All I can see was their comments.
Okay. Yeah. No, we got Josh and Elijah and 51APY just joined us as well. So, thank you everybody for joining so far. That's one of the cool things about, YouTube and, the gun community itself, if we remove the whole YouTube thing, the gun community is, extremely supportive and, everybody wants to get together. Everybody wants to just enjoy and share the passion for the sport.
Oh yeah, man. That's a big part of it, man. When I go out to the range, man, go out and hang out with the guys, and especially like here, it's just now starting to cool off. And when it's nice out at the range, man, I'll get out there sometimes at 8 o'clock in the morning. It may be 7 o'clock at night before I come back. I'll bring lunch, bring some drinks and stuff, and I literally will stay out there all day long.
It's crazy, like we'll all, we'll travel to far places as well to go in the sport as well, just to chase the shots.
Yeah, that's it, man. And just for something to do, man. Like I say, I will go. A lot of the shoots I went to when I went to Utah, which is about a 24-hour drive from me, and I don't even shoot. I just go to hang out with the guys, man. I don't. I bring like some gear if somebody needs some backup gear, but I don't even shoot.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like one of the competitions I went to, I was actually borrowing a rifle from a friend so I can, have a go at the light class rifle because I don't have one. And, for a light class rifle, it has to be under 3.8 kilos. Anyway, halfway through the competition, the shear pin in the trigger broke. And I quickly yelled out to one of the other guys, "Hey, throw me your rifle." So he was able to, chuck mine away, get another one, and continue on with the competition. And we're always sharing gear. Like everybody at the range. Oh, forgot my screwdriver or forgot this. Yeah, no worries. Here, go to my bag. Grab whatever you need.
Yeah, well, that's the way it was at that one that Josh and I were at. He got sick. I mean, Josh probably had $15,000 worth of air guns and scopes and stuff, and he never fired a shot. He ended up just lending it out to everybody else and let everybody else use it. The guys show up first couple of times and they don't have, the really advanced equipment. And if it's like, hey man, if I got it, you're welcome to it.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Everybody, is so giving in the community, and with my conversations, like even people like yourself on the other side of the world, the attitudes are exactly the same, and that's such a great thing of the sport.
Oh yeah, man, that's a big part of it, man. And like I say, that's a lot of fun.
And like even just in the comments, like I'm just watching the comments go through, and everybody knows each other, and it's such a cool thing to see. You've got KY Rimfire, Chris Lang's here. G'day, Chris.
Chris he's in Texas.
Yeah, like what does he say? In the middle of, he's somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, he is. He literally is. Yeah. He's in the part of Texas where dreams go to die. He really is, man. It's one of those places, if you're ever going to hang yourself, do it there. They'll never find the body, man. He lives out in the middle of nowhere, man. I'm not far from it. I'm about 100 miles from there.
Yeah. 51APY, mate. I had to go do something a little bit different yesterday, so I couldn't get to the competition. The weather was way too good, so I ducked out to the reef for a little bit of sports fishing. So sometimes we have to go do something a little bit different as well.
You live close to the coast?
I do, yeah, pretty much right on the coast. So the Great Barrier Reef is very close to where I live. It's around about 30 minutes boat ride out to the first islands, and then we can get on the reef and start fishing. So yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, that's cool, man. And remind me sometime. I'll tell you a Great Barrier Reef story. And I ended up almost flunking out of college.
G'day, Nibs. Welcome to the channel.
Nibs,
welcome to the stream.
Yeah, that dude's got some cool guns. That guy.
Yeah, Nibs. Like, where do you have you got like underground bunker or something? Because every day you've got a new.
Yeah, I know. I think he stepped in some leprechaun shit or something. I don't know how he come up with all them damn guns. But
every day nearly is a new one.
Yeah,
it's like a Mary Poppins bag, I swear.
Yeah. He's got all them cool vintage scopes too. I don't have any more. I don't have any more of them old vintage scopes. I think Elisha's got a couple of the ones that are. I can't think the name of the company here that makes them, and they look like the vintage scopes. And Elijah knows the name of it if he's still on there. I just can't think of the name of it. But it used to be Leatherwood. Now they call it something else. But they make those vintage scopes, and I mean they're nice, man. I've seen them at the trade shows, and one of the guys out at our range has one. It's real nice. They're expensive though.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of that old vintage stuff. You just can't beat. Like it's so accurate compared to nowadays. I think the manufacturing quality has lapsed a fair bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Hilux is the name of it.
Hilux.
Yeah. Yeah. Elijah said he was going to send that out to his email list, man. So some of the guys that do the challenge will be coming on here. And KY Rimfire, I think he was on the live stream last night.
Oh, okay.
I think that's Kentucky Rimfire. If it is, he was on the live stream last night. Oh, he said Hilux too. And but yeah, that like I say, that old vintage stuff is really cool, man. I dig that shit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Some of the guys at the range have got some of those old end shoots that just pure tack drivers. You just can't beat them, and they're not running tuners or anything like that. Some of the stocks are a little bit beat up, but pure tack drivers.
Yeah. Well, tell everybody about your rig, man, because I'm jealous as hell about that Seiko you got.
Yeah, so the story of the Seiko, it actually, I found it online. There's a bit of a secondhand deal from, I found it on a Facebook group, And then it was posted on a few different, for sale websites and whatnot. And I was able to talk to the guy and negotiate the price for it, and got it sent up. And when it first arrived, it doesn't look like the way it does now. And it came up in gold glittered paint. Like, I'll have to I'll find a picture of it and throw it up in my community post. But yeah, this Seiko came up with gold glitter paint all over, and like, it's like, have you ever experienced glitter just everywhere? It's just absolutely, it's a horrible thing. But
strip clubs, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, everybody was like, when it got to the to the gun shop, because when you purchase a gun, you have to go through the gun shop. But they were sort of like giggling, going, "Oh, this thing is ridiculous! It's so sparkled up and everything like that." Yeah. And so anyway, so we took it up to the range, and the first thing that one of the guys do, because we got his name is Gordon, and he's like our range legend, and everybody goes to him for advice and whatnot. And I trust him absolutely 100%. And what he does is he got a butcher's knife and literally just scratched the whole entire glittered paint off. And that way it would slide in the bag, because the glittered paint was not allowing the free recoil in the bag. So obviously, you want free recoil for better accuracy. So the first thing he does is just goes through and just scratches all the paint up, and glitter paint goes everywhere. And so Gordon put it together and built the stock, and it's absolutely amazing now. But Seiko P94S with a matched Lucia barrel, and it goes really well. And sort of experimenting around with tuners and trying to find that absolute precision with it as an intermediate rifle. So that's pretty much where I found the Seiko.
Yeah, I used to have a 6mm PPC 20 years ago when I used to shoot 200-yard Benchrest. And anyway, I've got a stock from I can't remember. I think it was Brown's Precision. I don't remember. I don't even know if they're still in business. But anyway, I got this thing in, and it was a defect. So the guy had filled it in with Bondo. And when I got the action in, it wouldn't fit. So I put what's called a sleeve. I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but it's basically just a tube that goes over your action. And Benchrest shooters used to use them to stiffen them up. And anyway, but I had this sleeved action and had this weird stock. And this guy that lives here locally painted it for me. And on one side, I had him put experimental. And on the other side, I had him put prototype on it. And man, you would not believe when I would show up places, everybody's like, "Ooh, what's he got? He's got some kind of prototype. Holy shit, man!" And I was sitting there thinking. Of course, once I fired, about 10 shots, they're like, "He's a nobody." When they would first see the guns, it's like, "Holy crap, man! He's got some brand new shit," And they'd come up, and it's like, "Man, what is that?" I'm not really supposed to talk about it, And like I had some James Bond type shit, but it was pretty cool, man. But yeah, my little old Seiko, man, I picked it up about a month ago, and it'll shoot, but it's got a real heavy trigger and stuff. And let's see. Jeff said he's on the way to Texas to steal a Rimx from this turd in YouTube. That must be me. Yeah, I seen Josh's Rimx video today. He had that new whatever it is, that modification done to it where you can close the bolt on a round. And I've almost done that probably 20 times. Get sitting out there and think I need one more for the group, and just throw a round up there and get ready to close the bolt. It's like, I've caught myself. I hadn't done it yet, but I know eventually I'm going to if I don't get mine fixed like that.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned in the video, Kenny's got those extractors that seem to solve that problem.
Yeah. Kenny does some cool shit. Like I say, Josh, if you guys hadn't seen this video, you need to, because he was running it. I think he had 4 different kinds of magazines. I know he had 3. I think he had 4 different kinds of magazines. Never had any no misfeeds, no jams, no nothing. And he was putting the single feed in it, closing the bolt on it and stuff. And you could tell by the way it looked when he was closing the bolt, it was smooth, you know. And don't get me wrong, Josh is a young, strong dude, but it wasn't like he was having to, you know, hulk up to close it. You know, you could tell it was closing real smooth. But
Yeah, well, there's no need to fight with it. You know, it should be nice and smooth to be able to close it.
all right, let's see what Elijah says. Seiko Quad or Kimber All American, huh?
Oh, I'm Seiko. I'm a Seiko.
Yeah, well, damn, that Seiko Quad. That's that one you change the barrels out.
Yeah, the Seiko Quad, you can change the barrels out.
A buddy of mine's got one of those, man. I wouldn't use it to, you know, beat a zombie to death, man. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. But the Kimber All American, I come this close, and I've sent Elijah a couple of different links. I've been this close to buying one of those government ones here about the last 3 months. I've been super close. I bought 4 other rifles, so I haven't been buying one of those, but I'm super close to getting one. Oh,
what did old Josh say? Kenny and MCR both do the mod. Yeah.
That other guy, that MCR, I think if Josh chimes in, I think that's that guy that did I think he did his Remex or did either 1 or 2 of his Voodoos. But I know Josh speaks real highly of that guy as far as his gunsmithing and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
But the only one I work with has been Kenny. And,
okay.
You know, Josh and Ray from X-Ring were the ones that turned me on to Kenny, just watching their videos. And I reached out to Josh, told him, man, I want one of these, you know, really scary ones. Where do I start? And he told me, man, holler at Kenny. So that's what I did, you know. And I hadn't done a lot of research on it like Josh has. I just, you know, give me the gun, let me load it and shoot it. You know, Elijah asked me today how many rounds I shot, how often I cleaned the Remex. And I was keeping up with it. I shot a little over 6,000 rounds through it before I ever cleaned it. And, you know, I know there's guys like, you know, you're a retard, but, you know, I got that from air rifles. As long as it's shooting, man, don't clean it.
Yeah.
But once it did foul, I mean, it went down, not slowly. It was just within 2 shots. It's like, man, what the hell happened? You know, it was like the scope came loose or something. It just went at 50 yards, man. You couldn't hit a Coke can with anything. And I down that fast, and I just took it apart and cleaned it right there on the range. As soon as I did, it went right back to shooting. But like I say, I put 6,000 rounds through it before I ever cleaned it.
So while I've got you, let's get into the world of scopes.
All right.
Tell me about scopes. You know, like what got you into the whole scope world on YouTube?
Well, I'd been sick, and I'd made a few videos on YouTube, and luckily I had a lot of really nice rifles at the time, and I was able to sell them to kind of supplement the money I was missing from work. I was drawing, like they call it, extension aid. It's basically medical insurance or something. And I had cancer and it had a lot of follow-up stuff with it. And over the course of about 3 years, I think I worked about 6 months in 3 years. But anyway, so I had these really nice guns, and I was able to sell them and get my money back out of them. You know, I didn't, like I say, luckily didn't have to have a fire sale, but I was having a hard time letting go of my scopes. So I was watching a few of the channels that did scope videos, and the footage always sucked. Oh, it was so bad. And I just kept looking at it, and I thought, I was intrigued by cameras, and I thought there's got to be a way to film and get better footage. So I just took a Picatinny rail and mounted it to a desk on my back porch. Got a good heavy tripod and just tried a bunch of different phones and sport cameras and adapters and the little compact cameras with the thing that zooms in and out, DSLRs. Man, I tried everything, mirrorless, to try to get good footage through it, and finally stumbled upon what works best for me. And but once I did, you know, the scope videos started taking off. And honestly, I wanted to do air gun. That's what I wanted to do, air guns. I didn't want to do scopes. I wanted to make air gun videos. But there were so many other guys, man. And Josh can attest to this in air gun. the air gun YouTube channels, it's real competitive, man. There's a lot of channels, you know, and it's hard to stand out. And like, there's pretty much, I mean, there's real entertaining channels. There's guys that do a lot of pesting. There are guys that do real you know, real intensive reviews, you know, and tears everything apart and stuff. And my stuff just didn't stand out, but there wasn't nobody else doing scopes. So it's like, you know, I don't have to, you know, outrun everybody else, you know, just got to outrun one person and let the bear get them. So, you know, there wasn't many people, you know, that was doing it. It was just me, and Rex Cowboy was doing a few, and then but you know, like I say, it just kind of took off, and I really didn't. The guy that kind of got me to start a YouTube channel, I talked to him and told him, man, I you know, this ain't what I wanted to do. And you know, he was telling me, man, sometimes, you know, you choose the path, sometimes the path chooses you. He said, man, if people are enjoying it, you know, and you're able to make them, just keep doing that. So I just did, you know, and now if you're looking for scopes on YouTube, man, it's hard not to find my channel. You know, you know, don't get me wrong. It's not the best videos. That guy, Chris, that has his channel is C does, and his are way better than mine. You know, he's got good footage, man. They're real. You know, you know, gets a lot of coverage on them. Most of mine are 5, 6, 7 minutes long, but his is really, really intense and really good, man. Like I say, he's way better than I am. But you know, I'm kind of a monkey with a tambourine and a smart ass attitude. You know, so it's just something to do. But you know, but I do think that I still get really good scope footage, and now I kind of. At least here in the States, man, we don't have big sporting goods stores, so you can go look at everything like used to when I was a kid, you know. And so much is online now. So a lot of guys that watch my videos, they'll look at, say, a Vortex 2.5 to 10 or whatever it is, and then look at the Athlon, then look at the, you know, the Leupold, then look at the Tract, and they can kind of look at them back to back because they use the same camera, the same settings. The same range, the same target. I try to duplicate it as much as I can. I only film when it's sunny, unless it's something that I really, you know, really rushing to get out, because I want guys to be able to try to do it apples to apples.
Yeah.
And I don't do anything in post to the footage. That way, it's kind of, you know, this is what the camera saw that day, and sometimes it's better. You know, it's way better than what you see on camera. But I've done a couple of videos that once I got home and put it on the iPad and edited, it's like, holy shit, that was clear. You know, but to my eye, it didn't look that good. But whatever reason, the scope focused just perfect. You know, the camera and everything settled in. It came out real good.
Where did the nipple twister come from?
Well, one thing, I like doing that to hookers, but the main was I just got my own little fetishes, you know, but no, I was doing a video for Val that owns Val Data Optics, and he had sent me one of the, or didn't send me, I went up to visit with him, and he had one of his Recon G2s, which is just incredible. But anyway, we were out there testing it, and he told me, man, you don't have to be gentle with it, man. You can abuse that thing. It'll come right back. Well, I never, you know, really had, pretty much, in my opinion, it's kind of a top tier scope. I know it's not a zero comp or what, you know, a Heinstolt or something, but it's about as good a scope as I've used, you know, and I love that thing. But anyway, I said, no shit, honey. He said, yeah, man, it'll come right back if that fixture will hold it. And the fixture was tight. So I just started doing it like this and started twisting on it. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm twisted on these things like I did on my girlfriend's titties when I was 13 years old. I'm twisted on them nipples. He got tickled by it. So that's what I started calling it, you know, in the videos. And what kills me now is when I watch somebody else do a scope video and they use the words nipple twister. That tickles the living shit out of me. And I've seen several channels use it. And it tickles me when I hear that, you know. And but yeah, just it actually amazes me, man, how it amazes me the number of scopes that it doesn't work on, that they won't come back. And
yeah, right.
Yeah, the Viper, whatever it is, PSTs or whatever, you know, it's about like $1,000 scope, $800 scope. I've never tested one that would return. I've tested several of them. My buddy mine's got like 4 of them. None of them will come back. We put them all in the fixture and tested them, and they don't work. The Leupold Freedom scopes, they're entry-level scopes. They won't come back. You know, they'll get close, but they won't come back and repeat. There's a lot of them that won't do it. Quite a few of the SIGs, they won't repeat. Some of the Bushnell, some of their mid-price scope won't repeat. Like I said, there's a lot of them that won't do that. And I've tested a couple of, probably the most expensive scope I tested that wouldn't do it was a Vortex Golden Eagle, and they're about $1,700, and it won't repeat. It's always off by a click or two if you play with it and stuff. And I mean, I've been out there and strapped it down to a concrete bench so nothing could possibly can move, and it just won't come back. And
Have you ever found that? Just seen a comment from Elijah that it's hurting Joe. I've got a Viper on my favorite 308. Elijah, you know, have you found that in yours?
Well, I don't know if Elijah's found it or not, but it's something else too, man. I have a sample size of 1. You know, when I get these scopes in, I only have 1. You know, and that's something Josh and I have talked about. Guys are like, well, mine looks clearer than that. Mine's darker than that. Mine doesn't look like that. Hey, man, I've only got the 1. You know, I'm not at the factory, you know, doing audits at the end of the assembly line, testing several hundred of these. I only have the sample size of 1. And, you know, I know that there's times that I've had some that have been exceptional. You know, I got a Leupold 4.5 to 14 in a few years ago. And Scott, he was on the live stream last night. And
G'day, Scottish.
Yeah, he's a good dude. But anyway, but it was just it was incredible, man. I put it right up against any Zeiss or Swarovski I've ever seen. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. Every lens in it must have just been at the very best of the specs. It just lined up great. But I've had some other ones. I had a Zeiss 30 millimeter back when they were about $2,300-$2,400, and I sent it back. You know, I got it in, and I mean, I've had $200 scopes that were clearer than that. I don't know what was wrong with it. And but when I first got it, honestly, I thought I was looking for thumbprints inside of it. I thought maybe when they assembled it, somebody touched the lens or got, you know, grease or something on it. That's the way it looked. It looked like I was looking through a screen door. That's how bad it was. But you know, but that don't mean Zeiss's are shit. It's just that particular scope sucked. You know, so like I say, we only have a sample size of 1 when we do that, and that's something that's something I really like about like Josh and Elijah's channel when they're doing, you know, they're out testing a gun and say they want to go with Ely match. They'll shoot several different lots. So that's a lot more informative than me just going, because I don't even say what the lot number is. It's just, hey, I'm shooting Ely match. Watch this shit, you know. And but you know, because it's the same way when I shoot the ammo. I've got some. Josh and I both got some real good special match here a few months back, and I don't know how much he bought, but I ended up buying 2 more bricks of it. And I've got some Ely team that's like that. That's, you know, just terrifying for its price. But I know the next lot's probably not going to do that. You know, like I say, just have the sample size of 1, but that's all I got to do the video with. You know, so that's what I do.
But with that, you know, like with scopes, you know, they should work. For a scope that's over $1,000, it should be on point every single time. And it's crazy to hear that, you know, there's so much variables out there, you know, with some of these manufacturers.
Well, it's called like most of the scopes now, most variable power scopes have anywhere between about 14 to 18 lenses in it. And if guys know what tolerance stacking is, you know, each lens has to come in within, you know, minimum this, maximum that. And as you add all these tolerances up, press a certain point, it's got now it's going to wobble like hell, you know, and it's real hard to get. It's real hard to get one where everything lined up perfect. And that's the thing with the pretty much at $1,500, and most of the scope companies have a $1,500 scope. The Tractoric, the Athlon Cronus, Leupold Mark V HD, the GPOs, all of these scopes come out a lot of optical works. They all have the same internal assembly. It's kind of like a Mr. Potato Head. Now they have different lenses, different specs, different turrets, but they're all very, very similar, and they're all very, very good. And if you pick up one track turret at $1,500-$1,600, the one that Josh has got is the same one that I've got, is the same one Elijah's got. You know, they're a lot more consistent. In the budget scopes, the consistency is not there. You can get a really good one optically, or one that the turrets are incredible. Then there's other ones, man, that are spongy, and like a lot of guys, if you watch on the budget scope videos, they'll be like, man, the turret is real, or the focus is really stiff, or the eye focus is really stiff. And if it's cold, it will be, but they'll loosen up. And on the other hand, if they get one in, and it's really easy to move as soon as they get it, it's like eventually that may have slack in it. And if it does, anytime that eyepiece moves, it's going to change the point of impact, you know. But it, like I say, it's a lot of variables. And I went to, I guess it was about 6 months ago, I spent 3 days at one of the manufacturer's place, and they had guys come in from Japan and from China, and they were designing the scope line, and they wanted my input. They didn't always like what I said, but anyway, but I spent 3 days there with them, and being on that side of it, realizing the gamble that you're taking. You know, if you want to make something different, okay, we want it different, we want to stand out, but if you go too different, you know, we're gonna end up with $500,000 of these, and if they don't sell, then we're stuck with them, you know. And that, small companies that can bury them. That's the reason the ones that are successful, like Arkad's a good example. But one thing I know the guys real well, and I like what they do, but they go slow, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Blackhound is kind of the opposite. They started out with the same type of scopes, you know, $200 to $300 to $400, and then they immediately jumped up. Okay, now we want to start selling $1,500 to $1,600 scopes, and the only problem is if you buy a tract, a Leupold, GPO, something like that, and you spent $1,500, you get ready to sell it. Okay, you'll be able to get, you know, 13 out of it back. You'll get the majority of it back. You know, if you buy a $1,500 Blackhound, you'll be lucky to sell it for $700. I know.
Yeah,
you know, the name carries a certain value to it, you know. And I think the successful scope, the new companies, the ones that are successful, they stay in their lane. You know, Zero Comp's not trying to make a $300 scope. You know, they've got their little niche right there, and that's where they're going to stay. And they're successful because of it. You know, Tangent Theta, you know, they may only sell 200 scopes a month, but they don't need to sell 10,000. I mean, if Tangent Theta starts making a $300 scope, now their $5,000 scope, it devalued it. You know, so I think that's the biggest problem to me with Vortex, is they try to be everything for everybody. They want to have scopes at every single possible niche, from $200 to $3,000. And it's hard to have that many SKU numbers and keep the quality up. It's just impossible, man. You know, when you got 400 different variations, you're not actually assembling them there like Leupold does. There's no way you can stay on top of quality control. It's just impossible. There's no way, you know.
Well, that's why I like Athlon. You know, for the price point, you know, I can't go past it. For that scope that I use, you know, it's on point every single time, and you know, for the pure price.
Oh yeah, man, and you have if you've done, like I've been doing this now for coming up on 8 years, and after a while you get to know the people behind it. Josh is the same way. Josh knows the guys from Athlon just like I do. You know, Josh knows the guys from Tract, the guys from Leupold. He knows a lot of these guys too. And after a while, you have to kind of take a step back from, okay, this guy's cool as hell, man. I like the fact he's always got cold beer. You have to separate that from what they're making. But the Athlon guys are a good example of just a bunch of good dudes that offer a hell of a lot of quality through their scope line. You know, and they stay in their lane. You know, Athlon's not trying to make a $4,000 scope. You know, it's kind of like, okay, we got the Cronus, and then that other one, I think it's the BTR, the next one under it, or whatever it is. And then it goes down. But in each price category, man, they've got a winner. You know, they really do, because they're not trying to make 8,000 scopes. But I'll tell you something right now, man, that I'm going to make a video on. And the guys that are watching this live stream, please don't repeat it, because they're going to make a big launch over this here in the next few weeks. But Athlon is fixing to have lifetime guarantee on all of their thermal and night optics.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to have the receipt. You don't have nothing else. It's going to be just like a Vortex scope or a Leupold scope. You buy this fucker, lifetime forever, no matter what it is. Not because some of them have like lifetime on the body, but the electronics are only good for a year. But their stuff is fixing to go to lifetime. Like I say, you guys don't repeat it, but that they're going to be launching that here in the next, probably sometime next month. They're supposed to launch it for real. They're going to have a big launch on it, but they're going lifetime on all of their stuff like that. So they got a lot of confidence in what they're doing, and part of it is they're doing the quality control. They're not just letting the factory. Yeah, y'all take a look at it. You know, the Athlon guys are actually looking at the guys that I know. Josh and I both have had their tripods, and I know it's probably one place making all these bog tripods and the tripods for Leupold, Vortex, and everything else. But the Athlon tripods, you know, I've been to the trade shows, and guys that are almost as big as I am are sitting on those tripods. And they put like a swing under, and they're sitting there underneath the tripod, and the tripod's holding their weight. You know, so it's they're heavy duty as hell. And but like I say, the Athlon guys, their stuff that's outside of their normal optics, you know, they're really swinging for the fences on that shit. But that lifetime warranty on their electronic stuff, man, I think that's going to be one of the things that's everybody's going to go, whoa, hold up now, why'd you do that? You know, because we're not going to do that shit. But yeah, they're going full lifetime on all that stuff, man.
Oh, look, you just can't go past it. And I like what Cam DeRide just put up in the comments. He goes, really want a thermal and can shoot challenges at midnight. So yeah, maybe Elijah can create a midnight section. You know, he's got his air guns, his 22s, his vintage sporters. Now we can have a midnight.
Well, they have a night shoot at our range during the fall and stuff, because here it's so hot during the summer that the thermals don't work at night, but they have a night precision shoot. They have 2 or 3 of them a year and stuff, and it's really cool watching the guys go out there and warm up, because they'll take these little water balloons, and they'll fill them up with hot water and to go down there and hang them up on the target, and that's how they zero them in during the day. Because like I say, when it's 95 degrees and 90% humidity, it's hard to use the thermal. But, yeah, that's the reason they're not. That's the reason they're not that popular where I live. I don't know. With Josh, I know it's warm where he's at too, but like here, if it gets dark at 7 o'clock, you can go out with a thermal, and it's almost midnight before it's useful, because it's so hot and the trees hold so much heat, especially at the base of the trees. And it's hard to see the animals, because the heat will go up 3 or 4 foot. Well, that's as tall as the animals are. So it's real hard to see the animals and stuff. And, you know, the thermal stuff here in the South, it's good during like November and January, you know, November to January when it's really cold. But any other time of the year, man, it's almost useless. You know, you come out better just using, you know, night vision or just a LED light on top of a scope, because it's so hard to pick the animals out. And there'll be stuff in the woods, like old dark timber and stuff that's laid there and started rotting, and it'll build that heat up through the day, and then at night all this stuff is glowing. It's real hard to pick the animals up.
Yeah, like exactly the same here. You know, like the heat retention, you know, can stay for hours after midnight.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm, you know, just I use my house, for example, the west facing wall, you know, that wall is still hot to touch at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. You know, and same as, you know, as you're saying, you know, going out shooting, you just can't see through it.
Yeah. Well, we do a lot of pig hunting at night, and there's a place that I have to hunt that's got a gas line right away cut through it, so they keep it mowed. And we've got several feeders out there, and we'll go out there and bury several hundred pounds of corn at a time. But we'll go out there at night, and we don't use lights or anything, man. We just have good scopes. And a deer you can't hardly see in the moonlight, but a black pig, they just stick out like a sore thumb. You know, as soon as they step in that power line, you got them. And you know, we shoot a lot of them at night without lights. I mean, we're using good scopes, but you know, we don't even use lights when we shoot them, because it scares the hell out of them once they get used to. Or like those little LED lights over feeders. Once they've been shot over that several times, it scares the hell out of them. You know, they won't come in when the light's on. So we just got to where we just shoot them in the moonlight.
Mm. So one of the things I also wanted to talk to you about today was shooting challenges, and you know, Elijah and No Pro and the other guys, you know, they're putting out, you know, really good targets.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I just wanted to dive into that, and you know, like how, you know, we can, you know, continue to promote it, continue to encourage everybody to participate in it. And the big thing is, you know, like the shooting challenges are great. You know, I want to emphasize that, you know, you don't have to be a YouTuber to participate in these challenges. You know, anybody can get their rifle, go out to the range and enjoy, and, you know, email your results. And it's just a great way to participate. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I love it, man. And like we were shooting, and I think Josh shot some of these too. The air guns, they have some stuff like that. And a lot of times everybody's got a phone, or they couldn't watch us right now, or, you know, a laptop or something. And I know on the air gun ones, so guys wouldn't have to have multiple cameras. They just set the camera up behind them, shoot. And when they get through shooting, you know, just stand up and walk down the range with the camera, just one continuous take. And that way, believe me when I tell you, man, Josh is a hellified shot. I mean, that's somebody should shoot circles around me, period. Every once in a while, I'll have a good day. But for me to shoot as good as Josh, I need a much better gun and scope and setup and a hell of a lot of luck. He's just a better shot. Elijah is the exact same way. Elijah can just shoot circles around me. But every once in a while, I'll have a good day. And if you do, a lot of guys will, you know, immediately, oh man, you know, what distance did you shoot that at? You know, I know you didn't do that legit, blah, blah, blah. And I know Josh gets this a lot, but Josh gets it more than me because he's a better shot and he's consistently putting out better groups. Elijah's the same way. But a lot of guys want to, you know, just because your Walmart rifle and that bullshit ammo that you're buying and that $29 Glenfield scope won't do that. That don't mean we can't do that shit with the stuff that we got. You know, I had a little Nissan Rogue. It was a nice little vehicle, man, real reliable and stuff. But if I see somebody in, you know, a Lamborghini Urus, you know, smoking all four tires and, you know, running 0 to 60, you know, in 4.5 seconds, you know, I'm not screaming bullshit. It's just their stuff's better than mine, and probably they can outdrive me and stuff. And a lot of guys in the shooting sports have a really hard time with admitting that somebody could be better than me. And the worst, and boy, I hate to say this with Elijah and Josh, some of these other guys on there, but they will back me up, are the ex-military dudes. I'm not shitting you, man. I can teach an 11-year-old girl that stutters and is cockeyed to shoot quicker than I can teach somebody that went to the military. Because, you know, Sergeant Big Nuts, you know, that fought 4 tours in Nam, you know, that did this. And then, hey, he said you grabbed the son of a bitch and you jerked that trigger, you fucking, so, you know, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. And you can't get that out of their head. I mean, I'm dead serious. And these, like I say, I know they'll back me up. And that's part of the thing for me that's amazing to me, that they shoot like that, because most of the really bad shooters on my range have the same thing in common, man. A lot of them are, except for, you know, new guys, but a lot of them are ex-military, man. You know, and it's like, dude, it's not that hard. Aim at the center, allow for the wind, you know, let her go off, you know. And but it's there you go. Josh back me up.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a fact, man. And it's not all the guys, but I guarantee you the way they taught Josh to shoot in the military is not the way he shoots. You know, it's not the way Elijah shoots. If they did, hell, they couldn't hit the paper. I've got a buddy that I used to shoot with a lot, and he was retired military. hell of a good dude. Had some nice guns. He might as well had Walmart guns or a slingshot. You know, he was buying stuff like 340 Weatherby Magnums that, you know, I mean, damn near dislocate your shoulder and stuff. And he'd shoot it one time, and then he's scared of it. At 100 yards, he couldn't hit a milk jug. You know, but there's somebody. Oh, Navy.
Old Nibs.
Okay. If that's Nibs, and that's where if he was in the Navy, Nibs, I got you. Nibs can shoot. You know, and like I say, these guys can all outshoot me, but every one of them I know have had the same thing happen to them that's happened to me. When you do have a good one, that somebody's like, "Oh man, you didn't do that." You know, it's like, whatever. You know, and I'm hoping Josh survey bullshit is at Nibs. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, they wear blue uniforms and have drop bottoms at the back so they can, you know, backdoor each other easier and faster. You know, if it's what I'm thinking about, you know, because I think they had a sailor in the Village People. That'll kind of let you know what's going on there. You know, but I didn't see a Marine in the Village People, but yeah, man. But a lot of military guys, it's hard to untrain them from that bullshit. You know, Nibs sits
to the front.
There you go, Nibs. Just y'all got padding on the knees. I got you. And but yeah, what's that? Commander in the disapprove. Oh yeah, y'all see that? Where that dude, that military dude's like posing for something and scopes on their backwards. Have you seen that? That was a big deal here in the States. That dude like lost his command and shit. And, but yeah, but what Elijah does with making those challenges, it brings a lot of guys in, man. Because like one of my buddies, he doesn't want to be on camera. He's been to the range with me a couple of different times. I got one buddy that goes a lot, but I have another buddy that's been with me a couple of different times, and he'll shoot the challenges. You know, I mean, he doesn't want to be on camera, but he'll shoot the challenges. You know, and because I can't remember what his little screen name is, but he does that deal where it's behind him. You know, you never see his face. You just see him shooting, and he walks it down there to it. But I don't think he really enters them unless he shoots really well. And that's something else about the challenges. Like some of the guys, I know Josh and I will shoot it one time. Fairview Precision, that's somebody who shoot too. But you know, we just shoot it one time. You know, good, bad, indifferent. We just shoot it one time, and you know, we got other shit going on. But some of the guys, they'll sit there and shoot it, you know, 15, 20 times till they get it where they want it. And it's like, it don't mean that much to me. You know, I know occasionally like they'll give away a scope, or I know a life of them were raising some money for a charity. But, you know, it's one of the deals, man, if you need a scope that bad, holler at me. I'll give you one. You know, don't sit out there and go through hundreds around the ammunition just to shoot the little target one time. You know, go out there and shoot it. You know, roll with it. And like Nibs has got, you know, 8,000 different guns. So yeah, do it. But you know, Josh and I are not going to sit out there with the Rim X's and the Voodoos and shoot until we clean it. You know, so there you go. Nibs the same way. Put it up, good, bad, or ugly. Because I put up one. I don't remember what it was. It was a good rifle that I shot it with, and everybody's like, "Oh man, you suck." And it's like, I did that day, I guess. You know, and it's just, oh well, that's the way it goes. Yeah.
That's it, and that's what shooting's all about. You know, just get in, get it done. Enjoy the good days, enjoy the bad days, and just get involved with it. What is okay? Well, he needs a scope apparently. So
there's no way. That guy's a YouTuber, man. We all make millions of dollars and get all this free gear sent to us in crates and shit. You know, hell, I'm sitting there right now. I've got 3 hookers lined up over there waiting to blow me. You know, it's just the way it is. You're a YouTuber, man. You're living large. You're cocaine all over the counter, man. You know, it's just standard YouTube shit. No way you need a scope. You know, but it's amazing the channels that are out there and some of the shit they get. And then there's other stuff that's like, you know, that you know, I've talked to some of the guys that have just gigantic channels. It's like nobody will give me nothing. And then there's other guys that have tiny channels, and these, fucking Leopold and, Remington, Browning, everybody's blowing their inbox up. Man, we want to send you some gear, and it's just, yeah, Cam to ride, free scope, huh? All right. Yeah. But yeah, for me, I got scopes out the ass. I could suck a mile of dick and couldn't get one free 22 shell. I shit you not. There is no amount of head I could give or ass I could give up to get a free 22 shell. It is a fact, an absolute fact, man. I can't get a discount, and I watch like Kilos. Josh and I both get a lot of our ammo, the Ely stuff, through Kilos. And they mess around, and I shoot a lot of that contact because it's cheap. And and it shoots okay. But they mess around, put that contact on sale for $5 a box. It's like, okay, I'm getting about 5 bricks of that shit, while it's cheap. Because when I get to the range every time, man, like they're shooting a different gun, different scope and stuff, when I'm mounting everything up and getting it ready to shoot, get it on target, make sure I got the cameras. That's why I'm sitting there burning up contact. I'm not going to sit there, run through a box of Rimex getting a gun ready, So I buy that contact for that. And, CCI, if you shoot it, you come out there just putting dirt down the barrel, it fouls it so damn bad. And, but that guy's offering a 22 shell for a scope. I go, shit, you give me a reach around. We'll be working, It doesn't have, just as long as any long rifle I'm in.
I agree with what Fairview says here. Like what your recommendations, it speaks volumes. And, you just got to go through the comments on your videos. And, everybody loves how genuine you are. And this comment is, spot on of what you're doing with your channel.
I appreciate it, man. Actually, I sent a video to Josh. I don't know if he's still on here or not, but I sent a video to him to kind of preview for me the other day because we were both talking about a particular YouTuber, and he was really shoving one brand just right down somebody's throat like crazy. And they're shilling real hard, and that's something for me. Like there's a couple of them, man, I do have a dog in the fight. I get either a kickback or I get scopes, high-end scopes free from these guys, or, go on trips and they take me and stuff like that. But to me, the guys that, on YouTube's about selling deodorant, tampons, cars, that kind of shit. Is about the commercials. For me, the only guys I feel loyalty to are the buddies that I've made on YouTube and the people that watch my channel and are looking to me, not as an authority, but just to give them an honest feedback, whether I'm right or wrong, at least I'm being honest, and I feel like, I don't know, that's, I don't take myself serious, but I do take that part of it serious, every once in a while, I can be a little harsh on one of them, but a lot of times if I'm really harsh on the company, it's because it's usually because, okay, I've had 3 or 4 of these from this company. They all sucked ass, and I'm lucky now I'm in a position because a lot of guys ask me, I just filmed a video the other day about YouTube comments. And one of the comments I get sometimes now are, most of the videos you do now are positive reviews about the scope. And I'm lucky because my channel's grown a little and I've got enough scope videos that if one of the scope companies reach out and they're like, hey man, we want to send you, one of them was wanting to send me an 8x32 as an example here about a month ago. And I told them don't, and they're like, why not? And it's like, well, it's going to look like shit on video. And I've seen that scope and I don't like it. If you want to send me something else, do it, but don't send me that scope. And they got a little butt hurt over it, but it's like, I can pick and choose, if you want to get pissed off, I don't care. There's 500 scope companies. It's not like I'm doing pickup reviews and I fucked around, pissed off Dodge and Ford. It's like, well, you fucked yourself, because you just took out half the companies. But there's the new scope companies pop up every day, so it's not like I said, I get to pick and choose a lot of them, and I only, I put so much time in them. into videos, man, I try to pick the ones that are interesting to me, or at least I think the guys that watch my channel would be interested in. I've been doing a lot of scopes that are $200 to $400 range, because I think that's where the majority of the market is. So I've been trying to do a bunch of those, and I don't get paid for the videos. So, I'm going to end up putting 15, 20 hours in it, just like I would if it was a $3,000 scope.
Yeah.
Like I say, my loyalty is to the guys that watch my channel. They're interested in, okay, man, what can I find for, under $400? It's not a piece of junk. And then that narrows it down a lot, man. There's not a lot of, by US dollars, I don't know how it converts to, gold lira or fucking gold cows or,
Yeah.
date, the clusters of date or whatever y'all use for currency over there, fucking
Yep.
But, about $400, $500 US. If you want to come in under that and you want, okay, I want illumination, I got to have a zero stop, it's got to have locking turrets. It's got to have a side focus that goes down to 10 yards. It's got to have this, got to have that. And it's like, okay, you definitely can get a scope that's got all that. That'll come with sunshades. That'll come with rings and everything else. But there's no, all you bought was sizzle. There is no stake there. You wanted all the little trinkets, and that's all you're going to get. Where a lot of I know guys, like the first time they buy a really high-end scope, like they buy, say, a Night Force Attacker or something like that. That's a really good scope. I get a real high opinion of. I've never done any videos for them, but it's a dynamite scope. But somebody gets a Night Force Attacker, they open the box, it's kind of like, there's nothing in here but a scope. It's like, that's where all your money went, into that scope. You didn't waste money on, fucking flashlights and compasses,
yeah,
plastic tampon dispensers and stuff. It's all went into that scope. And most of the really high-end stuff, that's the way they come. It's a scope that's padded inside of a box, and when you see a scope that comes with a rangefinder, comes with 2 different kinds of pocket knives and, fucking cup holders, portable massagers and everything else. You might want to rethink that.
Exactly right. And I got that comment here from, this is actually my mate, and I didn't know this, but he obviously has watched your videos and bought it based on your recommendations. And actually, it's the Lithgow that's sitting behind me up on my shelf there. So that's got the Archon and Elijah. I've borrowed that rifle to have a go at the challenge, because I've seen you put up the Aussie version. So we're going to have a crack at it. So see how the Aussie goes with the Aussie rifle, and get involved with these challenges.
Yeah, and Archons, man, are really good. But that's a conversation that Josh and I've had about that exact scope line. For the price, it's a hell of a scope. But for the price, and there's a lot of guys that's like, hey, man, we just talked about the attacker. There's guys that, hey, man, it's equal to the attacker. Man, I'll put this right up against my Zero Comp or my, track Toric, or I'll put it up against my Leupold Mark 17 or wherever they're at right now. And it's like, no, dude, no. It's not like that. It's not that kind of a scope. And people that say that it is, you lose your credibility really fast, man. Don't get me wrong. People look at me and it's obvious I'm an athlete. You look at me, young triathlete in the peak of shape, that's naturally gorgeous, but a lot of that is lenses and camera tricks, in real life.
It's all editing.
In real life, I'm an old, balding, gray-headed fat dude with about a 200-word vocabulary, but, the guys that blow those things out of proportion, I look at them the same way as that. I was a regular kid in high school, but where I used to work, I was the only regular kid in high school. Every guy there scored the touchdown. He slept with all the cheerleaders. He hit the 3-pointer at the buzzer and everything else. Like, was I the only one here that was just a regular kid? And so many of the YouTubers that blow stuff out of proportion, man, I don't have anything to do with them, man. The guys that are on here, Lash is a good example, man. You, Josh, Kenny, Walnut and Steel. Man, you know, these guys are honest about what they're doing. You know, the guys that are just shilling, I don't want anything to do with them. I don't have anything to do with them. Hell, I ain't got a dog in your fight. You know, I don't give a shit about you, you know. But some of the most fun things for me on YouTube is talking and visiting with other YouTubers, because it's a really weird hobby in a lot of ways. And there's a million things to learn, especially for somebody old and stupid like me. And that's something that I've been really lucky, man, that a lot of my friends, man, have helped me a lot. Josh has a lot. And that's helped me a lot with cameras and stuff. You know, Elijah's helped me a lot with, you know, picking out rifles, you know, because I didn't know what kind of, I knew I wanted some accurate 22s, but hell, I hadn't bought good 22s in 30 years. I don't know what's on the market now, you know, and these guys helped me out a lot, you know. Of course, Walnut and Steel, I mean, he's got, you know, what, $14 million worth of Vantage, you know, it's like in a museum, the shit he's got. So I don't even pay him no attention. Yeah. I look at him like when I've got a stepbrother, it's about 6'2", naturally curly blonde hair, blue eyes, man, it looked like somebody painted him in. Dude's never lifted a weight in his life, and he's built like, you know, like a fucking lifeguard. I hate that motherfucker. Oh, I hate this son of a bitch, you know. But that's the way I look at Nibs. I look at the guns he's got, and it's like, this motherfucker, you know, this son of a bitch, you know. Oh, lift guys, see, oh man, I gotta have one. Elijah,
you gotta get one.
Gotta have it.
That's it. You know, lift guys. You know, we're Aussie manufactured everything. You know, they're amazing rifle, and old Elijah, it's game on. It is game on, mate.
Yeah. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think Elijah was the one that told me that they don't import them into the U.S. anymore. You can't get them here anymore. And
true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's illegal or they just lost their importer, but I don't think anybody here imports them anymore. And Steyr was like that for a while. The Steyr air rifles, there was 2 or 3 years you couldn't get a Steyr, and because there was nobody here that was importing them. You know, I know somebody's importing them now, but for a while you couldn't. Yeah, but yeah,
lost their importer. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the lift guys, I don't think anybody's importing them. Oh, long rifle. Yeah,
long rifle.
Yeah.
I like your CCI challenge. That is spot on. You know, it removes, you know, the rifles. You know, everybody's got their favorite ammunition to the favorite rifle. Throw some CCI into it. You know, have some fun. You know, I like that. Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about the challenges. One thing, man, and I think Long Rifles does this, that has some challenges, and it's like, you know, email me and I'll do you the deal. The way that Elijah does it, got a site set up, you go on there, get the PDF, print the target. Because for me, if I got to email you, and then you're going to email me back, and then I'm going to, you know, give you a blood sample, you know, and you're going to play around in my urine sample, then later on, I'm going to be able to I'm not doing that. You know,
that makes sense.
You want to do it. Because I hadn't got to shoot one of his challenges in probably about 3 months, and I'm in the process of moving. But the way he's got it set up, click on there, there's the PDF, you know, and just print that shit up and go to the range. You know, actually, I've still got some, whatever it is, Captain America or Mr. America, whatever it was. I guess I was thinking about my physique and started thinking Mr. America, but I think it was that Captain America. I've still got some of those printed up. I never even got a chance to shoot.
Was it passed on? Yeah, you missed out. Hey, what you really did. You missed out on that.
Yeah. See, I just bought a Steyr here about a month and a half ago, and I'm moving close to Austin, Texas, and one of the shops here had 3 of them, and I knew I was going to be back in about 2 weeks. So I thought I'll get one when I come back. They sold them out, and I couldn't find one, and one came up for sale, and I jumped on that Steyr here a while back. But I bought 4 rifles, I think, in the last 2 months. I hadn't been to the range one time. I got a shitload of rifles waiting to go to the range, but I hadn't got the chance to go to the range with them yet. And
looking pretty in your safe.
Yeah, I got a pretty, you know, wall with some 22s on it, and but I have a safe, man. But a lot of the here in the South where it's so humid, you know, if you put guns in the safe all the time, don't have a good humidifier or whatever it is, they rust really bad.
They do.
Yeah, because I live kind of in the Rust Belt part, close to the Gulf. So when it's you know, and it's real humid in this part of the world, and if you put a gun in a case, you know, you just put a gun in a case, go out hunting and put it in a case, just let it sit. I'll open it up Monday. When you open it up Monday, it's full of little brown hairs, man. It'll rust this that quick here. So
yeah,
you know,
we experience the same thing. You know, my safes, I got, you know, those cheap sort of dehumidifier, you know, box things. It just rusts instantly. Like last year, we had a massive rain event, and everything just turned to rust. And like after you clean your rifle, you have to make sure you don't even touch it, don't even look at it, because it'll rust.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. I can't think what that shit's called, but it's like this little blue stuff. It's in like a little tub, and people use it like in their closets and shit like that.
Yep.
But put that in my safe, man. It works better than the little wafer things that you buy at gun shops. And but you put one of those in there, man. It'll get it real dry. But I've got the rod, the electric rod that's in there that heats it, and those work good too. A lot of people here in the South will use them. They're about, looks kind of like a girl's curling iron. It's about that size, and you just put it in the safe, and all it is, it just puts out heat and it keeps it dry in there.
Yeah.
But damp rib, that's it.
Yeah.
Damp rib shit, hell yeah, that's what I put in mine, man. It works way better than that, and it's cheap. You know, you can buy it at the grocery store and stuff like that. Them the ones like you're talking about look like kind of like pegboards, you know, with the metal and stuff, all that crap.
Yeah.
They're higher than hell, and I don't think it works as that damper. That damper works like a charm.
Hasbro, I am at the top of Queensland, so quite a far away from Melbourne. It's a very wet, wild place that is. But no, I live at the opposite end of Australia.
So you live on like the northern part of Australia, or south? Or
yeah, the northeast side of things. So you know, pretty much on the coast.
Yeah.
You know, definitely in the humid area. You know, you get out of a shower and you're wet again because the humidity just sticks to you, especially in the summer. You just live in air conditioning. You just can't go without it.
Yeah, that's the way it is here.
But I prefer the hot than the cold. There's no way I could live in a place where it snows.
Yeah, but the only thing that I hate about it, man, some of the best groups I've shot, man, is when, you know, get out there one morning when it's, you know, literally 90% humidity, everything's just damp, you know, and by the time the sun comes up, it's already 90 degrees on its way to about 102. And for whatever reason, the rimfires will shoot their ass off when it's hot and humid like that. Holy crap, man. Every gun I got, that's when it shoots the best. I can go out there when it's, you know, 40 degrees, got jackets and stuff on. Maybe it'll shoot, maybe it won't. But you get them rimfires out there in that heat and no wind. Holy crap, man. Or at least my Rimex, man. My Rimex will do some terrifying shit. When it's real hot and humid. I mean, it'll shoot like hell, you know, real good anyway. But you get it out there when it's really hot and really humid, and you know, I mean, not like I say, not some of the guys on here, but the local guys, I can make them put their shit up. You know, they'll sit there and grab their guns and want to shoot with me, and they'll say, "Yeah, I'll make you put that back in the truck here in just a second." You know, let me grab that center X, and I'm fixing to make you put that shit back in the car.
Hasbro, no, not the Gold Country. The Gold Country is a little bit out west. I'm more on the coast. So yeah, the Gold Country maybe 2 or 3 hours away from me, but fairly close to it. With the humidity and everything like that, it certainly does make it interesting to shoot. And you know, as Joe was saying, shooting when it's hot is certainly a different story. And you know, you don't get those cold bore flyers as much. And funny enough, is the best shot I've ever done is when we've been in a tropical storm and it was just torrential rain. Where I am, like it can easily get over a meter. I don't know the conversion for you guys, but you know, over a meter worth of rain per year is very common. And yeah, the best shots I've ever done was in a torrential storm that, you know, the range was flooding and everything like that. It's a different kettle of fish, you know, shooting in the tropics to what I believe would be shooting where it's cold.
Yeah. Hey, Alan, have you seen that deal that Josh did about we was blowing down the chamber or the barrel with a straw?
Yeah, Josh giving a blowjob to a barrel, but
yeah, no, have you seen that?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, rid of that cold. First time I seen that, I'm like, God Almighty, man, I like Josh and I respect him, and I'm thinking, you brain dead fuck. You know, what is this bullshit? Till I seen him do it, and I was like, well, I guess you know. I mean, usually I'm often debunked, and I was then too, but he did it, and I'll kiss your ass. That shit don't work because I tried it. I went out to the range and did it because I looked funny out there with a gun barrel going. Hey, if it'll get rid of the cold war flyers, if it'll make them quit, I'm up for it. But yeah, like I say, when I saw Josh do that, I'm like, holy crap, man. And I think I talked to him on the phone about it, and he's like, yeah, man, no bullshit, that works. So
yeah, we did it not long ago. So, whatever tickles your fancy, it's, you do you.
No, it works, man. And,
yeah, it certainly does.
Yeah, because I can't remember what it is he's got. I think it's a voodoo or something that's like one of them terrifying accurate, but it always throws that cold, or maybe it's his Remix throws that cold bore flyer out there. But he was doing that shit, knocked it right out. And but what gun was that, Josh? And
I think that was his 457, or it might have been his voodoo.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah. He's only got about 700 different 457 videos on YouTube. See, Josh did like me, man, with the scopes. He put so many 457 videos out there. It's kind of like, man, I'm thinking about adding humidity. But it's like, man, I'm looking at a CZ 457 because that's how I found Josh's channel. And a guy was telling me, man, get you a B14 or a Tika or a Ruger Precision or CZ 457. Oh, the voodoo with the Krieger. And man, I started looking at Josh's stuff, and it's like, holy shit, this somebody can shoot. And of course, I got my first 457 in. Two things went wrong. I'm not as good as Josh. Mine don't work like that. I was sitting there watching the way he's shooting. It's like, fuck, mine won't do that.
What are voodoos worth in over there?
Huh?
What's a voodoo worth?
A what?
How much to buy a voodoo in over there?
Oh, you said voodoo. Oh,
yeah.
You had that Australian accent, man. I thought.
Yeah, I'd get too slangy.
Yeah, you slanging motherfucker. I mean, I'm pretty well, proper spoken, and you start a voodoo better than me. But I think they start for the whole gun, man. I think you're looking at, I don't know, 3,000 and up. You might get one cheaper than that.
You guys get
for barreled action.
Cheap. I just quoted up a voodoo single shot, and to get it to my door is nearly $9,000.
Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, if I get a voodoo, that's what I want, because I've shot a couple of that the single shot voodoos, and I shot a couple of those at a range day here a few years back, and they were terrifying accurate. And but that. And maybe the new magazines help, but for me, man, spending that much money on something that I know is going to jam or has such a potential to jam with the magazine feeding thing. And the new magazines that, Josh did that video on the other day, that L3i, that may take all that out. It may not happen again, but, it's real hard to get that combination of chassis, magazine, and barreled action to function right. Yeah, Josh's is $5,500.
Yeah, now your secret's safe.
Well, I bought my Rimfire complete, and but it was, I can't remember, it was around $2,000 for the barreled action. But I just had Kenny, hey man, just pick me out a chassis and pick me out a trigger, what you would put on it, because I didn't want to. One thing I'm not that well versed on it, and I didn't want to tear it up. Is your 6 cover? What's up, man?
G'day, mate.
And that's a bitch there can shoot too. And damn, everybody here can outshoot me. You know what? Fuck y'all. I ain't coming back on no more live streams, man. I'm gonna find a bunch of booger pickers with BB guns, and I'm gonna start live streaming with them. Damn this shit, man. Everybody here's, I know everybody here is like, why'd you have Joe on? Son of a bitch, man. Get one of the shooters, you know. I told you, man. I have a lot of first dates, man. A lot of people ask me on one time, and I never come back. It's like, oh hell no, man. look at the guys that are on here in the chat. It's like, dude, for sure next time it won't be me. Guys, I'll comment when y'all are on here next time.
Yeah, 5.5K used. Yeah, $2,000. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Josh ain't selling. Josh is like me, man. I don't think I part with a lot of my guns, or damn sure a lot of my scopes. I don't think Josh parts with many of his rifles like this, especially if it's a good one. You know, because he's got some terrifying ones. Because that's the thing, man. Josh and I occasionally will shoot some groups. That's like, okay, I didn't. Oh, you just sold the voodoo? I hear you, dude. But we'll both sometimes we'll shoot some groups and we'll send it to them, man. You know, just one of them one-off ones. And I did a video where it's like, it literally is the best group I've ever shot at 100 yards with a rimfire. Nothing even close. And I was lucky and got it on video. But I will tell you this: if the cameras hadn't been rolling, I'd have stopped at 3 shots without a doubt. Because
Yep.
The only reason I kept going is I knew I could tell my buddies. You can see me thinking in the video, but I was thinking, okay, if I fuck this up, I can't show the guys. God, did you see it? 3-shot group? Damn, where 4 and 5 went. But Josh has sent me a bunch of groups just like that. You know, it's just he didn't have the camera going. You know, and Josh works. He's got kids and stuff like that. But some of the groups he sent me that weren't on video, it's like, yeah, that son of a bitch can shoot. You know, Kenny's the same way. Kenny sent me some groups. It's like, holy crap, man. And, I'm pretty much, every once in a while I'll have one of the real spooky ones. But a lot of times when I go to the range, because now I'm fixing to move. So if I go to the range, I might film 3 or 4 videos. Then once I'm through filming, then I'll sit down and just sit and shoot. And every once in a while, then, shoot a real good one. But there's times we don't even post the groups because it's like, if you did, all people are going to say, bullshit, you didn't do that. I got a 10-22 with a 3-9 banner and Tasco rings. Any ammo you can, at 100 yards, I can shoot right through the, center of a tic tac or whatever the hell it is. It's like, man, shut the fuck up. But everybody that's got a YouTube channel has this exact same dude. It's probably not, but they all get the same comments. I got an out of the box Marlin or out of the box Glenfield or 10-22 that, will do everything y'all do, man. There ain't nothing special about what you're doing. So turn that camera on, man. Let's see.
That's it.
And I have a lot of guys that got like, man, I don't like the way you're doing your scope videos, man. You're bullshitting too much. It's like, whoa, dude, grab, mount up, man. Head to the range and go to filming, man. Be my guest. You go right ahead, man. And
that's it. The keyboard warriors, they're not doing jack all. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, man, the guys, I don't know how many of the guys have seen Elijah in person. That's a big motherfucker. You may not can tell in person or on video. Elijah's a great big son of a bitch. About 6'2", not that wide across the shoulders. I guarantee you, anybody smart mouth than that ex-Marine, I guarantee they don't do it in person. Josh is the same way, man. Josh is probably, everybody says he's little. Josh is probably, 5'10", some shit like that. But when you actually see that dude, oh shit, man, Josh's forearms look like fucking Popeye, man. That dude ain't nothing but red hair, gristle, and muscle, man. That motherfucker, you can tell by looking at it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave Josh alone, man. I'll smart mouth to him when we're on the phone, but in person, it's like, hey, Josh, you doing okay, buddy? Everything, we're good, right? Before I can sit there and get to talking shit, because he's a stout motherfucker. But yeah, like I say, when I saw Elijah in person the first time, it shocked me how big he is, and because on camera you can't tell, you can't tell how big somebody is. But yeah, Elijah's a great big son of a bitch, and stepson is too, man. I mean, they come walking up. It's like, two defensive linemen are walking up. It's like, who are these big motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Big old boys.
Was it Josh? He's only 5'2" and 92 pounds.
Bullshit.
We got a question from Long Rifle.
All right.
Tell us more about the arms core ammo. What's that?
That's it's junk ammo, and but I shot one of these blind I don't know, one of these blind ammo tests. They had somebody else loading the magazines, and it was actually a buddy of mine, Mike, was loading the magazines. But I said in the deal, it was a friend of mine, his ex-hooker wife or some shit. But that was fun though, because he was actually loading them and writing them down. Because when I'm out there doing it, if I'm shooting 10X or something, I'm concentrating my ass off. If I'm out there shooting, federal, big box ammo, I'm just flinging the fuckers. Already got it in my head they won't shoot. But it was neat having somebody else doing it because it really made me focus. But that arms core, that's stuff that our local gun shops carry. And it's about... if you go like in the gun shop, the little 50-round boxes that are super, super cheap in the little cardboard and stuff, that arms core, it's one of them. And but that's the first group I've ever shot with it that it shot good. I've shot it out with a lot of stuff, but it just doesn't shoot that good. But it doesn't burn filthy like some of that other stuff. And that's the only reason I bought it. And when I got it, I'd run out of contact, and I needed something just to kind of get the scopes lined up and get on target and stuff for start filming. So I bought a couple of boxes of that shit. I was doing that budget ammo thing. So it's like, why the hell not? And but it shot okay, that day out of that gun, but it ain't nothing I buy. But the local gun shops, and a couple of our gun shops here are like little franchises. There's like 4 or 5 of them, and some of them have their own. They have their own little store brand or house brand. I don't know if that's what it is or not. What's Josh saying? Into thinking this intervention was so loud. Ain't that a bitch?
Surprise! It was all set up for this.
And well, actually, Josh and Elijah both. If you ever seen me in person, you saw me drunk. But I quit drinking about a year and a half ago. But so, yeah, because seriously, if you ever met me, you met me drunk. I get up, it was 10 a.m. somewhere, and let's start the day off with a beer and, a little old shot of whiskey, but yeah, it was starting. I got way too carried away with it, and it was starting to affect my liver. So I quit before I did any permanent liver damage. I was starting to get, they call it fatty liver, which everything else is fatty, I would think, but it's actually a medical thing where you're starting to mess your liver up from drinking. And I had lost several family members, so I had to quit. We're here back on the boat.
100% supportive.
My doctor is a good friend of mine. He plays on our fantasy football league. And he told me when I went in, and he told me, man, you got to quit drinking. And he told me, if you quit now, you'll be okay. But if you stop for a couple of years and go back to drinking, he told me, man, the damage you've done, you're going to be okay. But he said, man, if you go back to drinking, you're going to end up right where you were in just a matter of weeks. And you're it's going to turn to cirrhosis. So yeah, I had a good ride, man. Never got a DWI, man. Never, hit a kid on a bicycle when I was drinking or nothing else. I showed my ass a bunch of different times, but
that's what we've done.
Embarrassed myself, I'm sure quite a few times. Probably embarrassed some of the guys around me, but never hurt nobody, and quit before I did any permanent damage to myself. So, like I said, I had a good run, but I had to set that behind me. It was hard, and I had to quit getting high too, so that sucked. Because I don't like smoking, but I like edibles. But if I do that, then I want to drink. So it's kind of like people that they never smoke till they're drinking, and that's the way I am. If I take an edible or something, now I want a beer, so I had to give that up too. So now it's just, I guess iced coffee and masturbation. You know, you gotta have some kind of, you know, habits. I mean, I've been jerking it about half the time we've been on the live stream. That's the reason I'm only here up, you know. But
Leonard, g'day, Leonard. So, if you had a chance to buy I don't even know how to pronounce that, a Schul 150, would you snatch it up?
me?
Yeah, you.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I see them on whatever it is, Rimfire Central. You'll see them. I think it's I can't remember. I think it's another. I think they're CZs or something. I don't know. Josh and them would know, but yeah, they're those some of those are some nice rifles, and but I've shot a couple of them. But yeah, if it looked right, yeah, I'd get it. But right now I'm in the I've got my eye on a Kimber 82 government. That's where I'm headed next. I got the Weatherby, got the Seiko, the Steyr, and I got two different custom rifles on the way. But I got my heart set on a Kimber 82 government. I've spent so much money on these other guns, and I just bought about $2,000 worth of camera lenses. So right now I got to shut it down for a little bit. I can't get another one right now.
Only feed one addiction at a time, either camera lenses or rifle.
Well, yeah. Actually, I buy rifle. Like I say, I could buy a couple rifles what I get for those camera lenses. But you know, and that part of that's Josh's fault. Smart ass motherfucker. He's got a Sony, and he got a couple of like these G Master lenses and stuff. And Josh's stuff went from looking like this live stream to it's like, holy crap, man. Yeah. This looks like a damn, you know, National Geographic. I immediately hit him up, man. You know, what's the difference? And it's like, that's like an $1,800 lens. And I'm like, well, fuck. Because I don't want to spend that kind of money. But the one I just got in yesterday, I bought used, and it was $1,400. So, right. You know, but I got two real good lenses now. But they'll be in my video starting here in next few weeks. And I'm hoping somebody will look at mine and do like Josh. Like, holy shit, that looks great. You know, when I'm, you know, I look like shit in 720p. Let me throw some 4K up there with something crystal clear. And it's like, holy crap, man. Did somebody throw acid on you? You know, what the fuck happened up here? You ugly bitch. You know? So, like I said, it's maybe a step in the wrong direction, but, you know.
That's good. Good. Of course, Nibs has got a Schul. Of course he does. It's got everything.
Yeah. Well, that and I'm in the market for a Walther. It's KJ something. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get me I had a Walther at one time, and I'm gonna try to get me another Walther, and I may get, if I can find one, I'm gonna try to get a Fine Work Pal rimfire. But probably my next one that I'll buy will probably be a 82 government, because there's the little Kimber government rifles, and more of them are coming up for sale. It seems like here lately it runs in cycles, but I'm seeing a lot of them coming up for sale. I think when they were doing it, you know, 20 or 30 years ago, I think a bunch of those guys have died now, and their kids are selling them. You know, so you know that's why so many of them for sale. But I'm seeing a bunch of them pop up that, you know, it's like it's still in the original box and the shit like that. You know, so like I say, I'm wanting one of those, and I know Elijah's got one. But Elijah gets one. It's like, well, fuck, now I want one. You know, I'm dead serious, man. Elijah or Josh could get a Daisy Red Ryder. It's like, well, fuck, now I need a Red Ryder too. You know, I want to have the toys they got, but you know.
I like what Cam to Ride said. You know, ant shoots is more common with more parts available. You know, that's certainly a factor, you know, when purchasing a rifle.
Yeah. Well, and I've had a bunch of ant shoots. And a matter of fact, I just sold my 54 about 3 weeks ago. The one with that custom stock, and it was fun, man. It shot good, but for what it was, considering it was it was an Anschutz, you know, Benchrest rifle, and you know, I mean, it shot okay, you know, but hell, my Kimber would outshoot it most days. The Rim X would shoot circles around it, you know. I've had a couple other rifles that'll shoot right with it, and all the Anschutz will shoot. But if you've ever had one of the really spooky ones, it's like, okay, that's terrifying. This was not one of them. This was just an average Anschutz. And I've had one or two of the really terrifying ones, and this just wasn't. You know, it was just, it was a good shooting rifle, but it wasn't just raising all kinds of hell. Like I said, that little Kimber varmint would outshoot it. You know, it's just a little bolt fed rifle, you know. I mean, it's accurate, you know, but it's not, you know, you ain't gonna set the world on fire. When I got it, I was hoping to shoot in this factory class Benchrest thing that our club's having, but because it's not sold now and they don't have a way to justify what it actually costs new, that I can't shoot in it. I have to shoot, you know, against the guys with the 30-pound, you know, fucking voodoo single shots. It's like, okay, whatever, man. You know, I just didn't want to shoot a CZ or a Bagar, you know, because I'm through with Bagars. So,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'd like to get a Bagara. Same as a Rimex, I'd like to get those ones.
Yeah, oh man, if you get a chance to 22, don't get the Bagar. And
right.
No, hell no, man. The Bagars are okay. If you buy the Bagar with that little fiberglass / chassis thing and don't mess with it, it's okay. But it's real hard to get. They jam, and there's the ejector in there. It wobbles, and all it is just a matter of all I had to do was make that about 2 thousandths thicker, and it's been like that for about 4 or 5 years now, and they will not fix it. And I just got tired of it, man. I had 4 of them. And I sold one, gave the other 3 away. It's like, man, fuck these. You know, I'll never own another one. And
there you go.
Yeah, but
What's
yeah.
Josh got? Josh has got. He's playing with his manual chassis. I don't know what that is. You'd have to let us know. Never heard of it.
No, he says, what y'all know about that? He knows I don't know shit.
I don't know nothing about that either.
Yeah.
Hasbro, he's going to sell his wife to get a Rimex.
What she looked like, you know. You know, I'm just no particular reason. You know, I've got kind of unusual fetishes, and you'll like this, dude. I'm having a giveaway here in a couple of weeks, and I've used that Joe the Cyclops email so much that Australian chassis. How about that shit?
There you go. I've got to do some homework then.
You're damn right.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, right. You're damn near a communist, man. You ain't shit. But what was I talking about? I don't know.
Your giveaway.
Huh? Oh yeah. So anyway, I started getting too many people that were asking me questions using that email address. Now I don't like answering a whole lot of questions. So anyway, I started a new email for the giveaway, and it's scaryfetish@gmail.com. Well, midget fetish was taken, dwarf fetish was taken, nipple twister was taken, bleach butthole was taken. So it's it's a scaryfetish@gmail.com. But that's going to be my new scope. I'm giving away one of the new Arkin 7-35s here in the next few weeks.
Oh, that's going to be good. Everybody's looking forward to that, I get.
Yeah, they're nice, man. I got they're way better than I anticipated. You know, when somebody tells me, hey man, it's a budget scope, it goes up to 35 power. So, okay.
Yeah.
You know, by introducing you to a bitch, and it's like, she's got a great personality. It's like, man, I wish you hadn't said that. You know, it's like, you know, don't worry about her breath or her teeth. You know, it's like, oh no, I'm good. You know, but yeah, it's surprisingly clear at the higher power, a lot better than I anticipated. You know, for what it cost, and but then again, it's, you know, for what it cost. You know, yeah, it's damn nice. But like I said, I know because it is the same power as the Attacker and some of the other scopes that are, you know, 6 to 36s and stuff like that. It's What's that? Chris said he needs it for a rifle. Might be coming his way. Oh, okay. And well, all you got to do is enter. And
That's it.
I'll be doing it here in the next few weeks. And somebody bought 2 Arkans based on Joe's review. Need a long eye relief pistol scope. Now I don't do pistol scopes, man. I don't do digital scopes. Don't do night vision. Don't do thermals. All I do is regular optical scopes, man. And Vector Minotaur 60 power scope. No, I'm not going to review something like that. And I had a chance to do a Cytron. I think it was like that 10 to 60, 5 to 50, something like that. When you're actually filming through a scope, say it's a 50 on the front and a 50 millimeter, and it goes up to 50 power, that makes the exit pupil 1 millimeter. And I don't know if guys know how big that is, but it's extremely small. It's about the size of the period, at the end of a sentence. And the exit pupil is so small with a camera, man. With your eye, it's hard enough to use, but with a camera, it's impossible. It's going to look like shit. There's no way. It's impossible to get that image to look right on camera. And that's the reason Alan and I were talking about this before the video. When a scope company reaches out and they're like, hey, man, you want to see, our new, 45 power scope with a 40 millimeter tube. It's like, there's no need sending it, man, because I can't film through it. It's like, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help me. All I'm going to end up doing is being pissed off, trying to do it. So that's the reason I try. A lot of the scopes I do are like 3 to 18, 6 to 24 on the high end, but I do a lot more of the like 3 to 15, 3 to 18, 4 to 16, because they always look good. They got a bigger exit pupil. It's a lot less work for me. Because it's hard to, you're when you're filming through the scope, you got about 9 different axes, the way it tilts in 3 directions, the height, the distance from it, and as you change the magnification, it'll change the distance. So it's a lot of setup to do it. And so it's more hassle for me than it's worth, and it's not going to look good. So I'm not particular about how I look, obviously, or, a lot of like the way I speak or anything else in the videos, but I am real particular about trying to get the footage as good as I can. And when guys ask me about the footage, it's like, man, how are you doing it? And it's like, man, honestly, from the time I sit down behind the fixture with the camera and the scope's already in the fixture, once it's leveled up, the scope is leveled up, it's on the target. It literally is about usually 30 minutes before I ever hit record, because I'm trying to get everything optically centered to the very best that I can. I run grid patterns in my camera display so I can make sure everything's level, everything's this, because I want to give the scope the best chance it's got to get the best image. And a lot of the scope companies, they don't like the way I talk. They don't like, the way my presentations and stuff like that on video, but they can't argue with the footage. So it's kind of, hey, dude, yeah, sure. I don't have very good vocabulary. I sound like my mom and dad definitely were first cousins, but you can't argue with the footage. And a lot of them, if guys go to trade shows, if they've seen the target that I'm actually filming on, if you go to a lot of trade shows for a lot of the optics companies, you'll see that footage, because a lot of them, I'll film it and then I'll send them the footage and they'll use them on a loop at the trade shows and stuff. And I don't talk over it or anything else. I'll film it. I'll be quiet and I, do the turrets. But a lot of them, they're using that footage. And I've only done 1 video for EOTech, but the last 2 NRA shows I went to, the video footage they were using was that one scope. And like SWFA in their showroom, they had it on the loop, the footage from all their different scopes that I'd filmed through it and stuff. But like I said, I take a lot of pride in trying to get good footage, because it is hard to do, man. It's damn hard to do.
Yeah. And it's the best way to represent that scope and allow people to make the decision on purchasing. Leonard said, yes, it is a specialty scope, 60 power. Yeah. Not many people are going to use a 60 power scope. Competitors like me in the Benchrest, that real heavy precision, sure, we'll look at a 60 power. but it is specialty.
Yeah. Well, and when you're shooting Benchrest, man, because the exit pupil is so small, you know, the parallax is going to get you centered up, but the tiny exit pupil will keep you centered, you know, so you don't have to worry about it, you know. But it's like I say, for what I do, man, trying to film, because a lot of times when I approach some of these companies, and it's like, I'm trying to think, Steiner's a good example. And I'm doing a few things for Steiner now. But when I first approached them, you know, I see them at the trade shows and they see me and it's like, you know, hey, Cyclops, this guy, hey, man, you guys work together? Absolutely not, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And you know, but when it's like, okay, well, send me one, let me film it, and you tell me, you know, look at the footage and you tell me. And then once I do, usually it's like, okay, dude, what do you want to do? You know. Yeah.
And what Chris just mentioned here before, you know, that's because we love your videos. You know, he's spot on there, Chris. You know, just you show it how it is. It is, you know.
You know, and there's guys that's like, when I do comparison videos, I try not to do it too much because it's just, I get tired of all the comments. But it's like, oh, well, you did this or you did that or you did it. It's like, dude, I use the exact. Why would I come out here and film this and purposely skew it from one over the other? But a lot of times, like I say, it's like I got a sample size of one. Yep. You know, I can't tell you what yours looked like. This is what the one that I had looked like. You know, it's just when I hear guys talk about, oh man, I got a Swarovski Z5 and you know my arc is just as clear. It's like, man, I really, really doubt that. You know, unless you were just using that, you know, that Swarovski to clean boogers off the floor, you know, and you got some prototype arc and they had built it NASA. No, you don't. You know, it just doesn't work out like that. Oh, look at Liza going to get out his 82G to tease me. He knows I'm fixing to buy one. He knows I'm fixing to buy one. I guarantee my wife hates his ass right now for that shit. He knows I'm wanting to get it because he's got one. And but yeah, I'm gonna and the ones I see the last month, I've seen two of them that don't have that scratch on it. For guys that don't know, there was some bitch in the military whenever they went to uncase these things that used a box cutter to open them. And at least 95% of them have a scratch down one side because this guy just took this box cutter, ripped it open. And almost all of them have that scratch on it. I don't know if License does or not, but most of them do. And I found one the other day that doesn't. It doesn't have that knife mark down the stock. And but those are real. As stupid as that sounds, they're really hard to find one that doesn't have that scratch on it. And it's hard to find one that. I'm trying to think what that other civilian marksmanship. I can't remember if it was the Enfield or maybe it was a little semi-auto, whatever it was. Anyway, I got one of those, and when I was bought a couple of those little M1 carbines. That's what it was. It was hard to find one of those that the bolt wasn't rusted up on it. You know, and I mean you could clean it up and use it, but it was pitted. And I don't know what that was about, but most of them are rusted up. But yeah, on the 82Gs, it's really hard to find one that's not scarred. And I know that sounds ridiculous to people that haven't tried to buy one, but if you get ready to get one, I shit you not, it's going to have a scratch on the stock.
Those old nibs, of course. He's got to get the HR M12 too.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I don't need anything from HR.
No? Why's that?
I've had some. They just, you know, never had I had a Mossberg. I think it was a 144 one time that shoot lights out. But yeah, I hadn't had one of the HRs that shoot good. And I'm one of those things, man. I don't have to touch every single stove to make sure it's hot. Once I try a couple, it's got, well, I didn't like that shit. Then I'm through with it. Like the Bagar B14Rs, I'm good. I'm good. They literally, because the last one I got, they literally gave it to me. And it's like, no, I just gave it away. Fuck this. You know, I did the video. It's like, screw this shit, man. I don't want to mess with it anymore. You know, and I'm so old now. It's like, oh, that was the predecessor. Oh, okay. And but I'm so old now, man. If it don't interest me, I'm not interested. You know, I'm not going to go out there and fight something And that's the reason I sold the Anschutz. I'm shooting better than the gun will shoot, and I don't mind missing. I miss all the time. But if it's like, I know that's, this gun's missing for unknown reasons, and it's like, no, that's not any fun to me to go out there, because it just frustrates me, and
that's why I changed to the Seiko, because my first rifle, Anschutz 64, it gets to the point where like, that's not me. It's not me. It's got to be the rifle. And you never blame your tools, but it gets to that point where you have to make the change.
Yeah. And see, I've had 264s that were just incredible, man. And I shot one of them competitively there for a couple of years, but that 54 that I got, and that's supposed to be the improved action over the 64. Shit, that thing sucked, man. I had another 54 that was way better, and it was rusted, and it was some old club gun,
But if you had $5,000, what gun would you be buying, and would you buy it again?
I'd call Kenny, tell him, hey man, build me a Rim-X, or there's another, and there's something 2,500, but it's another bolt action repeating rifle. But if the money on the Rim-X, I wouldn't change it, not a bit. If I had to build me another one, now that I've got the repeater, I might want a single shot, but I probably wouldn't get the single shot first. But the Rim-X, man, I don't have a single regret on it. I've been offered $5,000 more times than I can count, go out to the range with it. And being on YouTube, man, for a while, and looking like I do and sound like I do. I don't look like everybody else. I don't sound like everybody else. And so when I'm at the range, sometimes it's easier to pick me out of a crowd, And I'm a pretty good sized dude, And guys, that recognize me will come up, and especially if they've seen some of the videos with that Rim-X, and it's like, man, is that the Rim-X that's in your video? It's like, yeah. It's like, man, you want to sell it? And it's like, no. And one of the guys that owns a gun shop that comes out to the range, he showed it out there about 3 months ago. He had $5,000 cash. He had bought like $4,200 worth of scopes off of me, but he had $5,000 worth of cash, and it's like, man, let me take that Rim-X home. It's like, hell no.
Nope.
No. And I know they'll all shoot, but I'm old enough now, and I've been around long enough now. When you get one that's like, holy shit, this thing is truly terrifying, don't let it go, because it may be, the Anschutz at that 64 I had, I thought, okay, this thing's spooky as hell. They'll all shoot like that. And I've never had another one that did that. Now I've had like 5 other Anschutz, and none of them shot like that old piece of shit 64, and I'm still looking for that one. The thing is, I've discovered guys that have an Anschutz that is really terrifying, they don't sell them. The ones that do come up for sale are the ones that, I like I say, I hadn't been able to lay my hands on another one of the spooky ones. That's why I want the government Kimber, because I know, okay, M1 carbine, that's it, and all those things are a blast, man. And I remember when I was a kid, you could pick those up for, $125, $150. You get the ammo for a little bit of nothing. It barely knocked over a Blue Jay, but they were, oh man, them damn things were fun. And we used to shoot, we used to coyote hunt with them. And you could shoot, and they were cool looking, back then, we couldn't afford something like an AR, but it was a military gun. It's like, oh man, we're armed up like a motherfucker with that M1, And but yeah, those are fun ass guns.
All right, mate. Well, it's come to that time, almost 2 hours. I just want to say, thank you so much for jumping on with me today. It's really, really good conversation.
Yeah, and thanks, seriously, all you guys watching, man. Alan and I both really appreciate y'all, tuning in, and because these live streams, man, if you don't have an audience asking questions and stuff, they're not any fun, and I really appreciate all you guys being on here and contributing to it, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Huge shout out to everybody that's jumped on, and Elijah, thank you for joining. Josh and everybody else.
Yeah.
it's just a way that, I wanted to spark a conversation and, give back to the community and, continue these conversations about promoting the community and promoting the sport and trying to encourage everybody to get involved.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure this will be the last live stream I do with you. So,
no.
because all the guys in the comments, it's like, screw Joe, man. Get me on way better than he is, but yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. I enjoy doing this. And like I say, a lot of times I'll do it one time and, I'll do it one time and it's like, nah, you can't get back, Josh, Elijah, Nibs, all you guys, man. Thanks for tuning in, man. I really, really appreciate it.
No worries. All right, guys, make sure you check out the description. Obviously the man, the myth, the legend, Joe, got his link below, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
See you. Thanks, Alan.